have to tell you things are bad? Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work, or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. There's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe. Our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
Peace and blessings to you all. Welcome back. Episode 14, Wake Up Show. We're going to get into it here. We are going to be covering this wild Grammys. You know, I haven't watched the Grammys. I didn't watch this one. I can't even remember the last time I watched the Grammys. But I paid a little more attention given the circumstances, the time of year, or should I say the type of year we're having, and a lot of big changes that are going on in the world. And what I've noticed is in a lot of these, whether it's Super Bowl or Grammys, all these big major shows, we always see symbolism, and we always are given some message, some subtext, some esoteric or occult message. And this one was pretty big. And the reason I decided to cover this is because it really ties in to a lot of things we've been breaking down here on the show over the past several episodes. And it also aligns, I believe, and I'll try to describe that here, rather well with what we're seeing happening in the political world, the stuff we cover more on the main channel. Really interesting dynamics I'm picking up here. So many things, from Black history stuff, culture in that sense, to futurism, and of course the occult. And they're all, it just seems to all be coalescing. And what we saw here on this episode, at least what they were showing us, I think, is a straight message. Donald Trump talks about a new golden age. Kendrick Lamar talks about letting the party die, and that we need to move on from the old system or the old industry, the old Drake, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy industry, and into this new age, this new golden era of hip hop, if you will, and music in general, as we go from more traditional ways of recording music, experiencing music, and distributing music. We go into this new digital age of music with a whole new cast of digital and avatar-like musicians. And I think what we were shown at this Grammys was a great example of these new avatar-like musicians that just virtually, wink, wink, show up out of nowhere and take the world by storm. Gone are the days when artists would work their way up, would develop over time and come out of small circles and slowly work their way up into the industry and not skyrocket into Grammy winning fame overnight. And it isn't to say that you can actually come up from the ground all the way up to the top. I don't think that's even possible unless you sell out, of course. Sell some aspect of yourself. I don't think there are any legitimate major stars. I just don't believe that personally. I think you can get to some level of success, maybe some mid-level of success. And what is success, right? Let's realize that even the term success isn't necessarily properly defined. Like, what does that mean? It means different things to different people. In my view, success is really just being happy and content with what you're making and what you're doing, making a living wage, allowing yourself to survive in the world whilst producing and creating things that you love and contributing to the world in some capacity. Contributing to the world in some capacity you're not trying to save the world, but contributing to the world in some capacity that I would say is positive. Okay, that is giving something back to the world in a way that is uniquely of your own doing and your own being. Right? To me, that's success. But in this world, success is getting 1 billion streams or winning a Grammy. In my view, these shows and these descriptions or expressions of fame and prowess in whatever industry is inherently, I'd say, narcissistic. I think it's idol worship. It's idolatry. I see it as very extreme. I think it's sad to even want to get to this type of level, knowing all of the consequences and concessions required, right? All of the, I guess, different ways your life has to change and things you have to give up and things you have to do. I don't see this as something good. But again, this is what our culture teaches us. This is what we've learned over time. Anyhow, I really want to get into this because there's just so much to say. Whether it's, this Chappelle Roan who we'll be talking about, this whole weird situation with Beyonce. And of course, we're going to start with Kendrick because this is the least interesting aspect of all this, his whole thing with Drake. But I think it does kick off the idea in that he represents the change, the shift to this new age. Out of nowhere, Kendrick Lamar all of a sudden is like the hottest thing smoking. And no disrespect, but he's never really been he's been more of a MC's MC, I guess this kind of guy that has some street cred, if you will, authenticity, a lot of respect for people. He's a good wordsmith. I never personally was a big fan of his. His ability to play with the language is phenomenal. I just never really was into his flow. He gets a little weird with his cadence, and I'm not into all that switching up stuff he likes to do. Just speaking at the artistic level, not my thing. But all of a sudden, he's like the hottest thing smoking, and it's so weird to me. It's so strange. I don't think he deserves it. I mean, at least this level of credit, right? It's like, where is this coming from? It more seems to be the case that he's taking down the giant. He's taking down Drake. He's removing Drake. He's killing the old industry. He's making, or at least he's that catalyst for killing the party, watching the party die, if you will. And that to me is interesting. Why him? Why did they choose this guy? Is something about him disarming? Right? He's not very aggressive. He's not very big in any type of stature. He had an album called Humble, I believe, or was that a track? Now he's portrayed himself as Christ, so he's clearly not humble. And what MC is actually humble, right? Aside from maybe what's his name? Guy that was involved with this whole Big Three situation. Goodness, I can't even remember this guy's name. I'm not too much of a fan of his either. But I guess he might be the most humble MC here. Drake clearly, the guy's a demon. But yeah, anyways, let's get into this. Okay, so first let's start off with, let me pull this up. Yeah, J. Cole. There we go. Thank you. Engine's still revving up, so I appreciate your patience with me, guys. Okay, so do you guys remember this? I did a video on this, and I'm sure hardly any of you were around then, but those that were, do you remember when I did a video on this in 2016 when Kendrick Lamar did this performance at the Grammys in 2016? You know, this was actually, I think it might have been my second or third video on my main channel, because I started the channel on February 6th of 2016. So we're coming up to our 9th year, actually. So yeah, this might have been my third video, and I covered this, and I was just getting this weird kind of vibe spiritually, where it was telling me something about the future, you know, change, prison. It really speaks to what we saw with BLM later, with the whole George Floyd thing. I think this was definitely some symbolism. It was some clear socio-political, racialist type of predictive programming or foreshadowing for what we've been going through. And I always wondered why he did this, and I know he's kind of been a political figure. He always has. But I just was tripping out because I knew this was bigger than what people were saying. And sure enough, what did this guy end up doing? Look at him now. I mean, look at him now. You know, he's changing the whole game. He's the biggest thing in the industry right now. He won a Grammys. I think he got the best song of the year. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch this thing, man. And he's essentially removed Drake from the scene, from the industry. People were cheering the song on, singing the song, singing the A minor part, which is alluding to Drake being a PDF. So this is it's like slashing the dude's throat right here. So for me, it was like, okay, there was something about this performance. There was really something about this here. And then I think about how we're changing into this new era. I guess we're going into a new type of hip hop industry. Is he going to be the face of that? I don't think so. I feel like Kendrick Lamar is just a transitional figure. He's a catalyst. He shook things up. And I think he was used in the same way in 2016 with that prison kind of chained up statement he was making then, that I think foreshadowed a lot of what we saw over the next 5 or 6, 7, 8, and now 9 years. Now, for me, the Grammys mean nothing. They've never meant anything. None of these shows mean anything. In my view, all these shows are set up. They're designed. They're orchestrated ahead of time. Everyone knows who's going to win, in my view, like especially the big stars that are winning. I don't think any of that stuff's legitimate. Now, the reason I say that is because everyone's getting all up in arms about how great this is for Kendrick, and Beyonce finally winning. That whole Taylor Swift Kanye tie-in from before, I think, is big too. We'll touch on that. My view basically is what we saw with this, who won, why they won, are all different aspects of symbolism that tie into bigger social and cultural agendas that are happening now. I have a couple clips here. One of Drake, actually, and one here of Eminem breaking down the pseudo nature of the Grammys. And this isn't new to anybody, but I think it's just a good example to show from horse's mouth that this whole thing is a sham.
I'm fine if I lose to fucking Kanye or someone that I'm like.
Forgive me for any profanity in these clips, man. I wasn't able to record and edit, so just putting it out there.
Okay, I respect that. I know who that is, and Kanye has a huge following, and he's made a massive impact on music. Fine, I'm good with that. But don't fucking get us all here to use your selling point for your fucking show and stiff everybody every single fucking time. And I said, after that point in time, I was like, don't ever ask me to fucking come here again. Please do not ask me. My answer is no for 100 million years. Never again will I fucking go to the Grammys. Well,
I think that's all an act. Personally, I don't think this. I think they have to do this to build up the I guess the legitimacy of the show, because it's like world wrestling. You know, if they didn't build it up this way, no one will watch this stuff if they knew everything was set up and everybody already knows who's gonna win. So they have to do this stuff on camera, on the big interviews, right? And I think them saying that is in a way telling us like all this stuff is set up, man. None of this stuff is real. And here's Drake saying it a long time ago. It's like truth in plain sight kind of stuff here.
Kids that are watching it.
I must admit, I like what he said there. And I think he's just, trying to play humble about the situation, but there's truth to it. That's all that really matters. This little trophy don't mean anything. The show doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of people trying to establish and legitimize a pseudo industry, a false industry that's rooted in narcissism and exploitation, right? So they got to get up there and speak this way. They got to thank God and thank Christ and all that. Well, they don't ever really thank Christ, hardly ever. They usually say God, whatever that means, out of their mouth. But they just get up here and perform these things. Now, let's first, because I don't want to spend any more time on the Kendrick Drake thing, outside of the fact that I believe this is symbolism for a transition. Going from an old kind of hip hop industry that died off once Diddy got big. And it's interesting how Diddy's just been taken out, at least figuratively or symbolically, because we don't really know what's going on with that either. We don't know what's going on with any of these people. and it doesn't matter. The fact is it's all performative. It's all entertainment to different degrees. But it's like this Diddy killing hip hop and then Drake taking what Diddy did and just making it even worse. I guess Drake wasn't too bad in the very beginning when he was more of a crooner. And then once he started trying to be like hardcore and thug and gangster, that's when things got weird. One thing I can say about Kendrick Lamar is he's an incredibly talented individual. I mean, the dude is brilliant in many ways, crazy with his rhymes, very artistic, a deep kind of guy, has a way of playing with concepts and layering ideas that is very unlike most people. So you cannot take that away from him. I've never been a big fan of his music personally. I just don't like the way he rhymes. It's just a personal thing. But outside of his ability to create, he is definitely an artist. So you can't take that from them. But again, listen, Satan loves the creatives. Satan loves the talented ones. He gets the most juice out of that squeeze, I'm telling you. Drake, not very talented. Came in, held it down pretty hard, I guess, because he's been pushed so hard. But almost 2 decades, this guy's been on top. And I think that's by design. But, I wouldn't say Drake's a very talented guy. I don't even know how he got to the position he did outside of being pushed. But Kendrick, I can at least say this dude does have talent. And we could say the same thing for Duce or whatever her name is, that came out of nowhere. And listen, I don't know her either. And somebody might tell me, what, she's, I don't know the background. But it's amazing to me how people could be literally nobodies and winning Grammys within 3 or 4 years. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. It's not like these people aren't real artists, because Kendrick's clearly a real artist. But again, Satan, this industry, they love to use real artists and real creative people. And it's unfortunate to see talented individuals go that route. I mean, it really is. It's sad. Okay, so new blood. I look at this as new blood. What we saw with the Grammys to me was new blood. And I call it Season of the Witch because the witch and the witch symbolism and the witch caricature has been inundating young people in our culture for some time. I think it's always been present since The Wizard of Oz, which I'm going to be connecting this to for those that already was seeing that before I mention it. It goes way back. We could look at the Harry Potter phenomena. So the whole witch and magic thing been around. But I think what we've been showing lately, especially with these Grammys and some of the recent popular films have been rooted in witchery, witchcraft, wizardry, etc. And we're seeing new blood. These are like the new artists that are going to be taking the stage in this new era. And Kendrick Lamar seems to be that transitional figure. I haven't done enough research. I don't spend a whole lot of time in the occult research as much as I used to. Just so many other projects and areas of research and study that have been taking my time. But I know there's deeper things with this guy, man. I know there's deeper stuff because he's in a position that is so huge right now that there's a lot playing into it. Now, new age. So I thought this was fascinating, guys. This Taylor Swift character, clearly the darling, the American pop star darling that can never do anything wrong, right? She just has the traditional Barbie appearance, always red-lipped. Of course, the classic long blonde hair. And in this show, we saw her as what? Of course, the gate, the transitional figure, the medium, the lady in red. The lady in red. I found it so fascinating how we saw the two sides. We saw the white witch or the white magic witch of light, the good witch. And then we were given the dark magic, the dark, let's say, bad witch. Right? I think that's the wicked witch of the West, I believe. We were given this symbolism, but there was this transitional figure that sat in the middle of it all. That was the lady in red, the medium. And when we look into the workings and Crowley and all these things, the lady in red, the scarlet woman, she's the medium, right? She's that which transitions the natural space into the supernatural space. Yes, the scarlet rebellious spirit. And then what's also interesting is she seems, at least what they portray her as this very innocent woman, right? Just very innocent. Now her music is toxic as hell. She's always dealing with some heartbreak. It's just very codependent. Not as bad as Lana Del Rey, but it's like a soft, it's like a soft version of Lana Del Rey, if you will, an introductory, a type of introductory session towards Lana Del Rey type of borderline music. So I thought this was interesting. And she's passing off the baton. This to me was a very key image here. She's toasting. Oh, guys, I don't know. Maybe those of you that really understand a lot of the esoterics, I know this kind of probably makes the hairs on your neck stand up because how big has Taylor Swift been over the past several years? And if we consider this whole situation with the dude she's dating and Kentucky, like Kansas City Chiefs, who are going to be in the Super Bowl in a few days, once again, right? The Chiefs, and so we get the entertainment of the Super Bowl and NFL. The music industry, everything tying in together. And of course, her having this since Kanye, because Kanye always plays a role in here. He's another one of these transitional figures, I think. Kanye and that whole situation when he got on stage and was talking about, Beyonce had the best video or whatever, that whole thing. Now, in this Grammys, she passed the baton because who won? Of course, Beyonce won, finally. Now, I think a lot of this also is the fact that it's Black History Month. So there was this ode or homage or appeal to the Black culture, so-called Black history, etc. There was this homage and this appeal that I thought, it's just patronizing to me. So I think a lot of it's just sick because I see the games. It's manipulative, if you ask me. None of these people matter. None of these people are doing anything for the Black community. These people are part of the beast system. These people have nothing to do with the struggles in the world of real people. They're just designed to give us something to aspire to distract us and keep us preoccupied with Satan's industries, right? So I just thought it was interesting how she's passing this on, and it was just creepy to me, very, very creepy. And then this image here just I don't know what she's whispering, but whispering in the ear of the new blood, Chappelle Roan, who's all of a sudden the most famous woman in music. Right, and we'll get into her in a minute. Another one of these witches. Right. So let's continue. And then I think all these people are plants. And I know that's controversial for those that maybe have been following these artists. Maybe they were legitimate at one time. But that's how the game works. Especially these hungry artists that are willing to do anything to make it big. They may have been working hard behind the scenes, but once they get discovered, they're ready to sell themselves. And I think that's what we're seeing here. This is Chappelle Roan in 2021. You know, performing for less than 50 people. I mean, look at what she's wearing. Look at her whole aesthetic. This is not long ago, guys. Come on. This ain't long. 2021, that's not long ago. And look at her now on stage. I'm talking Grammys with a whole new aesthetic. If you see this character, her aesthetic is crazy. She's like all over the place. And it's real popular. You know, it is what it is. I get the art and stuff. I'm just not into none of that stuff. Not anymore, at least. There was a time where I had more appreciation for some of this stuff. But now I know what it is. I know what it is. Right? And look at her on the Grammy stage, 2021. Same thing with Ducci, whatever her name is. This is 5 years ago. I got fired, thank God. But there's a spirit on all these people, in my view. They all got spirits on them. And here she is, winning a damn Grammy. 5 years later, come on, where'd that happen at? It's crazy to me. Do your hoodies run small or loose? They're true to size, Planted. They're true to size. 6'2". Let's see, 6'2". It really depends on your weight. You know, if you're 6'2", say between 160 and maybe 215. Well, 160 to say, well, that'd be very skinny. Say, you know, if you're very thin to maybe 200. It depends on the width of your shoulders and all that too. I'd say a large would be fine for you. But if you like it to have a little room, go with extra large. You know, I get large in everything. I'm only 5'10", but I weigh between 175 and 195 most of the time. So I have to get things a little bigger on top. So I go with large. It really depends on the width of your shoulders, though. That'll really make or break it. And your arms, the width of your arms. But they're true to size, pretty typical. I mean, you can't go wrong with a large. It just depends on how big your upper body is, really. But I would definitely go with an extra large if you're over 6 foot and you're not necessarily skinny. I would go with extra large. If you're thin, large should be fine. But it's true to size. Now, yeah, so this is just straight up plants, man. These are two of the biggest artists, Roan and Ducci, plants. Go extra large if you want it baggy. Yeah, because I know the baggy fit is cool too. I got a couple baggy fitted ones. I got an extra large actually for one look, just to have a more baggy look. Or a gut. Yeah, a gut, exactly. I gotta remember that too. Now, this here. What's up with the pale horse symbolism? In my view, this is what they're showing us. What's up with all these horses? Now, I do understand there's the Americana angle. I totally understand that. There is this Americana angle that to me is fascinating, right? Because what's going on right now? MAGA. Wow, isn't it interesting how it almost seems like they're signaling Americana for the left, for the progressives through this kind of stuff? And do you know she won the country music song or album of the year? That's wild to me. I mean, I kind of want to say it's almost disrespectful because she's not making country music. She's not a country artist. And it's like, just because you're mad famous and you have this whole popularity thing going on, you could just bogart complete genres and just be like, I'm country music singer of the year because I decided to play around with country themes. No, it don't work that way. I'm sorry. Because I know the culture will be feeling the same kind of way if, like, say, I think Post Malone at some point got some award and everybody was up in arms about it. He's not hip hop. Listen, the genres are crazy now at this point. I couldn't believe this. So the pale white horse, right? Pale horse symbolism, of course, of William Cooper's book. Something is up with all of this, and I find the Americana stuff very interesting. Very interesting, especially from a more progressive leftist view. Even with Chappelle Roan, she had the cowboys. Now they were pretending to be like circus clowns. That has the Western angle, but I think that's on purpose. This whole Western thing, I believe, is signaling manifest destiny, just like Donald Trump is signaling manifest destiny. It's just coming from the other angle. I can't even believe how strange that is to me, but it makes sense given where things are going. Now, check this out. This is her promo. I mean, it's wild. There's her promo here, Cowboy Carter and the Rodeo Chitlin. It's just so cringe, man. Circuit tour, right? And look, she got classic American car, cowboy boots, looking like Dolly Parton right here with the blonde hair, which is offensive to many people. What's up with all the blonde platinum hair and all of this? It's just, I understand mixing it up. Hair can be a piece of art. I get it. But then you get into the whole cultural reappropriation stuff, and it's just weird. I don't know. Mixed signals. Mixed signals to your quote-unquote black people, if you ask me. I'm just saying. Mixed signals. And then they always dress like some ladies of the night. She's in her damn bra and panties. It's always sexualized with these people. And then here we go with the pale horse again. It's always a white pale horse, too. It's just weird. Yes, it is. This is signaling stuff to me. It just really is. I can't help but look at it that way. Now, I got some clips here. They're short, so we shouldn't get hit with copyright. Here's the clip. And mind you, there's a big racial tension now because she won the Grammy for country music or whatever. And I think that was by design. I swear to you, I believe they gave this woman this Grammy to just create conflict because they knew it would. Not to mention, it is Black History Month. Not to mention, Donald Trump is doing all this reversal of DEI and sticking it to the whole civil rights movement, trying to pull back MLK Day, and he's trying to remove Black History Month, which to me, all of that stuff is performative. I'm not married to any of that nonsense personally, because it's all political nonsense. It has nothing to do with the truth. It has nothing to do with the Most High God. It has nothing to do with Christ. But I get the political angle. So isn't it interesting? Oh, Trump, you gonna take away Black History Month? Well, guess what? We gonna give Beyonce the country music album of the year. it's just an idea. It's so petty and funny, but you never know. Anyhow, so this is what she won. This person here says, Beyonce wins Grammy for the best country album of the year. I'm a tone deaf. Wait, no. So I guess this is responding to someone who was upset that she won this. Anyhow, let me just play this clip. It's only 9 seconds. And these are the country artists, and they're, they don't seem very happy, and they shouldn't be. If this woman won country, look, it's just funny how she's clapping. She's, it's hard. This smile, look at how she looking. And I don't even know who this is, but I'm just reading into it. She's like, what in the hell? This whole thing is just it's a troll, man. They're trolling people. They're trolling conservatives. They're trolling liberals. All of this political stuff, in my view, is just straight agitprop. Digging the knife in the backs of both sides. So we just hate each other. That's what this is, man. We just hate each other, man. And she's like, she ain't happy, whoever the heck she is. They just can't believe they gave this woman this. And I can't either. It's just ridiculous. And then someone says, every white person losing their minds on TikTok that Beyonce won. Itches can kiss her butt and stay mad. And they posted this here. Who you wanna be dipping on your ninja it's like this whole let's go to war kind of thing, it's helter-skelter agitprop, man. It's just well done. And they use these events and these artists to do so. And then there's the whole immigrant angle here too, with this point that what's this dude's name? Trevor Noah makes here, an immigrant as well. You know, so they tie in the race, but then they even divide us on the level of nationality. They do the FBA, non-FBA divide here. And I guess Duce or Ducci, who whatever her name is, I guess she's also an immigrant as well. Look at this here. And she doesn't seem too happy about this either.
Be honoring the best in music as voted on by the 13,000 members of the Recording Academy and 20 million illegal immigrants. And tonight, no matter what happens, history will be made.
She didn't seem too happy with that comment. And, you know, he don't write none of this. They are trying to divide on every level possible. They are trying to divide interracially and intraracially, internationally and intranationally. They want everybody at each other's throats, and they will use every opportunity, whether it's the Super Bowl, the Superb Owl, or the damn Grammys, or Trump's inauguration. They're using it all. It's so interesting. She's clearly not happy. Beautiful woman. I mean, I must be frank. Beautiful woman, very talented. You know, I'll give it to her. But she's a op, man. She's a straight plant. And, you know, thinking about all of this, it just reminds me of this clip here. You know, what they're really stoking here. And they've done it in the movies, and they always have tried to divide.
You talk more shit than a little bit. Back to Mother Africa. That's bullshit. Without question, we are all black Americans. You do not know a goddamn thing about Africa. I am from Detroit, Motown. So you can want Tootsie your monkey ass back to Africa if you want to. You talk more shit than a little bit. Back to Mother.
For those that remember that scene, this reminded me of that. That's all. It's just the back and forth, you know, all of this madness, everybody whining about, man. It's all charged, you know, it's all charged by the screens, by the viral stuff, you know. That's it. If we sit down and reason with each other, we'll realize none of this stuff really matters. Yeah, wake up. Shout out to Mo Griff. Good to see you. Shout out to everybody. Slim Hussein, Reg Mom, Brother Reg. Good to see you. Everybody else in there. King Sir, I see you. Good to see you. Yeah, man. It's such a... So then there's this. The whole Black History Month thing. It's patronizing to me. I don't know. It's just patronizing. Because I see what's happening in the real communities. Right? I see what's happening in the real world. These people don't give a damn. They really don't. And we've been talking about this. You guys go look at my blaxploitation videos way back from 2016, 17, 18, man. We were talking about how all these celebrities sell out their own people. At the end of the day, they don't care about nobody but themselves. So, oh yeah, Black History Month, all of our greatest. We have Lauryn Hill, amazing talent, and she got out of the system pretty quick. You know, she dealt with a lot of trauma. She disappeared. Michael Jackson, of course, his whole tragic story and mysteries and stuff. And then Beyonce and, of course, Kendrick. And then here is Doechii. I think it's Doechii. She's like, I know there's some black girls, so many black women watching me right now. And I want to tell you, you can do it. Anything is possible. Don't allow anybody to project any stereotypes on you. Now, I agree with the last statement. Sure. Absolutely. Don't allow anyone to do that, to do this, like, you know, projecting stereotypes on you. You're your own person. You know, but we project stereotypes on ourselves, if we're going to be honest. So it's much deeper than this, like, these platitudes. And of course, what else would we expect from these types that get up here? But listen, no, don't tell people you can do it and anything is possible. That's not true. Anything is not possible. This is this hyper-progressive, postmodern view of there's no meaning and there's no limitations, there's no parameters, there's no morality, and you can just do whatever the hell you want. All you have to do is work hard, mixed with the neoliberal meritocracy nonsense. That's not how the world works. Sorry. The world is very challenging and difficult and sets limits on you every single day. And in some cases, I don't care how hard you work, you're not going to make it up there because the system is rigged. It's designed for people like yourself to get in these positions. Or maybe she should have said it comes with a price. Anything's possible as long as you pay. As long as you pay with something, whether that's your behind or your mind. Or your progeny, your children. That's why I think a lot of these artists have babies after baby after baby, because there is going straight to the industry. It's payment. It's payment. And again, these are controversial views. I understand. Many, if not most, will disagree with me, but it is what it is. I'm not going to change my opinion. I've been looking into this too long to do something like that. And then I think of this. I always go back to this clip. I love this clip. He wasn't always right, but listen, Malcolm was on point with many things. Not all, of course. But I always go back to this. I don't care what no entertainer is saying. Don't tell me what I can do because you sold out. No, that's not how it works. And then I think of this.
These leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
It's wow. Now, I think he's a little short. He's a lot short-sighted, should I say. It's not necessarily the white man. It's deeper than the white man, whatever that is. There's a whole lot involved. And if he's going to be completely accurate regarding that struggle, the particular liberation struggle, we got to go to the tiny hat that was owning ships that even brought many here. Though I do understand some of the theories about the origin stories. You know what I'm getting at. I think that was probably one of the biggest psyops ever, was to blame the white man, when in fact, it's a particular type of group that has been in most power and using white, black, brown, and yellow and everybody else to fulfill certain plans. If we're going to be honest here, we get caught up in this black-white dynamic, this black-white chessboard play. We lose sight of what's really going on and who's really in control around here. And then we discover the people we fighting with just are in managerial positions, low-level positions of influence, getting controlled by strings much higher than themselves. Let's not be foolish here. I'm just saying, it'd be wise to think a little deeper into some of this and not play into what the big politics tell us. And then you got this clown here. Oh, my goodness. Kanye West, man, this guy, he is just thirsty. I think he's been out of the loop. You know, poor guy, by the way. He definitely ain't Christian. That whole LARP. Whatever happened to that, right? He's MK Ultra. I really think Kanye West is straight up MK Ultra. I think he is fighting, being, drugged. People say he's the handler for this girl he's with. I think she might be his handler, honestly. I just don't give him enough credit, I guess. But he's like a child. He's like a child. There's no way this man could be a handler of anybody. He is like a big old child who just never grew up. And it's sad. I make fun of him. I clown. Yeah. And sometimes maybe I go in a bit too hard. Forgive me, but he's just a big kid. He really is. Look at him. Look at him. He's just eating it up. What are you doing, man? What is that? Just such a clown, man. It's just basking in it, basking in the attention. I'm just so hardcore and rich and better than all of you plebs. Look at me shine and get into my $250,000 vehicle and drive off into the night caring not at all about any of you people. That's his message. And we cheer that on. We praise that. We praise this. Sick. And he got the Dipset chain on, trying to feed off this whole Cameron, Jim Jones situation going on right now. The dude is just, he's such an opportunist, like them all. Like them all. He's just an opportunist. And he's been off the scene. He's definitely not moving numbers like he used to. He's not trending. He's not appealing as if, he was part of this new wave. He's kind of falling behind like Drake. If we're going to be honest, he is fading away. Walking around with a butt-naked concubine isn't doing it. It's just not getting enough attention because it's all about shock with these people, especially him. Just shock, straight up. What's the most craziest thing I can do? How about I walk around with my woman butt crack naked wearing absolutely nothing? That'll shock them. That'll get their attention, won't it? It's like, come on, bro, low-hanging fruit much? Everybody's already basically addicted to pornography, man. You ain't doing nothing everybody and their mama and children haven't already seen. I mean, unfortunately, that's sad. I know, it's disgusting. Straight naked. It's shameful. It's absolutely satanic. And this is a clip here of him talking about his new album coming. I thought this was interesting.
Kanye, when is Bully gonna come out? When is Bully coming?
Yay. I changed my name to Yay.
Yeah.
I don't know if Don Lemonhead did that on purpose. I think he did. And even though I can't stand this guy, Don Lemonhead, that was funny. That little troll, because I know he did that on purpose. That little troll right there got under his skin a little bit. But he's so narcissistic, he had to still answer the question because clever, right? He was asking about his new album. So Kanye has to respond because he wants everyone to know and talk about his new album. But he set it up with Kanye. Hey, Kanye. Oh, that was funny.
When is Bully coming?
Yay. I changed my name to Yay.
Yay.
Soon this year, though.
When is Bully coming out?
This year.
This year.
So the reason I find that interesting, aside from being funny, is the name. The name. What's the name of the album? Bully. It gives off this spirit of dominance, right? Isn't Donald Trump being portrayed as this bully, going around bullying other countries, telling people what they need to do, putting tariffs on people's heads, bullying other nations into becoming the 51st country or the 51st state, should I say? Straight up bullying the world right now. If you're watching the news, that is. I mean, in my view, it's all set up. Yeah, jab at Trump maybe, or just signaling this idea. And again, we getting esoteric today. So we just digging into the symbols and trying to make sense of some of these things. Yeah, Satan's a bully, exactly. It's just interesting. All of these things are so interesting. Now, let's see what I got here. Now, before we get into the witch stuff, let me finish up these. Okay, I guess we're ready for the occult part. We get into the witchery. Now, Season of the Witch, right? Okay, let me see. Let me get these clips ready. By the way, quickly here, I want to show you this. It's only like 8 seconds, but it's this clip of Beyonce hearing that she won. And just look at her reaction. Cringe is just not a good enough term. And again, who do they have announcing it? I think this is all symbolism. We understand the history between this one here and this one here. She's up there with the transitional medium Scarlet Woman red dress, passing on the baton to the woman who's never won this. So it's kind of like Janice, closing the door, opening up a new door, completion, right? It's like, and then we got this clown up here And you know, poor Ivy, she's probably so sweet. I really feel bad for these kids, man. I feel so bad for these children of these people. She just seems like a really sweet girl. Even with Kanye West children, you know, it's just sad to see the kids, man. I can't say nothing about them because they're innocent, you know, and I really feel bad for them because they didn't choose this life. You know, they really didn't. And they probably would have chose otherwise if they had the I guess the ability, right? Anyhow, interesting how she announces this.
Carter, Beyonce.
Look at that. What was that? What even was this reaction?
Carter, Beyonce.
Like she's about to do the robot or something. I swear I thought she was gonna break out to the robot right there, man. Like what? Robot. Oh my God!
Carter,
I can't believe I won. Yeah, come on, man. This whole thing is just so set up and fake. Anyway, so I'm having a little fun with it. Goodness gracious, these people. Okay, now let's talk about these witches here. Let's talk about these witches, man. Okay, let me pull this up. I don't know if you saw this image, but this is actually kind of creepy. Where is this at? Oh, darn. Okay, let me fix this. I accidentally deleted something, but it's going to take me 1 second to bring it back up here. Boom. Okay. There we go. So, and I don't, if you did it, if you don't know anything about these Grammys, some of this stuff might be a little, because I'm not going in any detail. So I'm assuming you guys have at least some idea of what happened there, at least saw images, and because I don't want to waste time going through details about this thing. But I saw clips and images, because I didn't watch it myself, but I saw enough clips and images to get an idea of what happened. So here we go here. Check this out. I saw this image of Jaden Smith came up in this costume here, wearing this thing. Yeah, she definitely glitched. It was just fake. It was a super fake reaction. It's like, come on, man. Just so fake. So this is strange, right? Like, what is this? What even is going on here? Is it, some people were saying it was a type of ritual, a humiliation ritual. And then there's older images, and this is Willem Dafoe having a similar thing. And this guy, man, do you remember the Mel Gibson clip we played a couple shows back? And he was talking about how Willem Dafoe scared the crap out of him. He felt like he was a demon or something. Yeah, this guy, great actor, but I think he's a great actor because he works with spirits. And he definitely has that eerie kind of creepiness about him. Anyhow, what's going on with this? First thing I thought was Church of Satan Black House symbolism, right? Church of Satan Black House symbolism. Yep, this is Anton LaVey, and of course, Mansfield. And this was, I used to pass this all the time when I lived in the city. I used to be a bike messenger, man, all over the town, or should I say city? Technically, the town is Oakland, but all over the city. Passing by this here and there, sometimes just going by to look at it because it's creepy. It's just a creepy looking place. This black house here, this was the original Church of Satan. It just reminded me of that. And I don't know. The symbolism is just creepy as hell. It's clearly occult. There's something going on with this. Anytime these celebrities get up here, they're showing us something. I haven't seen the house helmet until now. Yeah. Haunted house. Clearly, this is definitely haunted. Yeah, very strange. So that kind of started me off. That was one of the first things I saw. And then I just can't help but see all of the symbolism. So hold on, let me pull this clip up here. Now these artists right now are pretty disturbing. So this is a quick clip of Chappelle Roan and Lady Gaga, who was wearing like she's dressed up like what's that movie? What's that movie? Goodness. It's that movie with Angelina Jolie and she's like a witch or something. What's the name of that movie? Anyhow, she looks like she's. Oh, was it Christopher Walken? Okay, it wasn't Willem Dafoe. My bad. I get those guys mixed up. Because they do kind of look alike, and they are both very eerie dudes. Okay, so I stand corrected. It was Christopher Walken, not Willem Dafoe. Yes. Yeah, like The Cell. Yeah, look at this. Check this out. Look how she's dressed, man. It's creepy. Strange. And look at this weirdo.
Are you kidding me? Lady Gaga in the house. She's going to be performing to
This whole witch aesthetic is really hot right now, and I think it's by design. Maleficent. There we go. Maleficent. Maleficent. That's the movie. She looked like she's dressed like that. All she needs is them damn horns. That's all she needs. Is that horn helmet. And we got this little demon over here for those who know this woman. She's like a designer or something, little demon.
tonight, and she just announced her new album, Mayhem, dropping next month, which is really impressive. Lady
What is
Gaga, I don't
going
know how
on
you
with
knew.
these people? I'm telling you, man. They're just creepy. And you listen, disrespectful maybe, but they're creepy. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest. It's my own personal opinion. These people are creepy. Now, her next album is named what? Mayhem. And he even dropped some truth
In
here.
the
Listen.
house. She's going to be performing tonight, and she just announced her new album, Mayhem, dropping next month, which is really impressive. Lady Gaga, I don't know how you knew, the theme of 2025 when you named your album. That was really prescient of you.
Yeah. Interesting, right? So her new album is called Mayhem. Kanye's new album is called Bully. I'm just saying, it to me, this is telling us something. It really is. Okay. Now, let's get into these witches here. This is pretty crazy stuff. So, this is, she dropped this, I think it's a track called Abracadabra, of course, magic, right? And the video is creepy. It reminds me of Black Swan. You guys know that film? Very similar, but it also reminds me of Suspiria, the new one, 2018 remake. Very similar. Witchy, got the interpretive dance, the revealing costumes, the androgyny. It's just satanic as hell. Straight up demonic. Abracadabra. Okay. Just out in the open with it. Out in the open with it. And in this image here, let me blow this up, man. She's just so scary looking to me, man. Look at this witch. I'm sorry, she's scary as hell. Any child would be very afraid of all of this. And you understand, young girls listen to this stuff, man. That's the thing that bothers me the most. These images are not for children. These are just not for children. And then here we go quickly here with Kanye. All black. Everybody got on all black, man. A lot of black themes. And I don't think it's for Black History Month either. Yeah, I believe it's a bloke too, Barry. Good to see you, by the way. I don't believe I don't spend a whole lot of time in the what is that called? The transvestigation. Some of that stuff I think is very on point, especially with the Lady Gaga. It is the Mr. Gaga. Mr. Gaga. Yeah. Anyhow, all black, it's not for Black History Month. This is a cult. I think these are better images of her personally. The best images I found of his concubine. She walking around butt crack naked in this. It's disgusting. Listen, watch this. Look at this. Poor kid. I mean, this is just sad. It's sad. And he can't help himself. He's just a curious, innocent young man who is going to take a peek because he's designed to do that. And he might not know any better. He don't look a day older than 12. And she's sitting here butt crack naked, posing in front of the cameras like it's the thing to do. It's absolutely disgusting, man. And I want to do. We won't have time today because we're already an hour in. We'll get into this tomorrow. I got a whole breakdown here of my views on this kind of culture regarding its lack of modesty and humility and what it does culturally. I got a whole thing here we're gonna really dig into because I have serious problems with this culture here. And some of these things I just got to get off my chest. Crowley, and I got Crowley here because this is sex magic. And for those that are familiar with Crowley's work, he's always talking about the importance of children, essentially young boys, right? And this to me is just sex magic. And these Jezebel spirits, these sirens, as well as these Ahab spirits are putting this stuff on the youth, man. And they're so narcissistic and demonic that they don't care. They don't care at all. Look what he's doing to his little daughter, man. He got her on TikTok being an artist, destroying her mind and her identity and her confidence. Just turning her into a product, man. It's so disgusting. Had to show that one. And then, so look at this, man. For those, these are just clips of some of the performances. It's just Dionysian sex cults. It's all neo-pagan rituals. And this, again, some of these people are talented. This girl here, very talented, man. She got skills. She could dance. She could rap. She got it all. So I understand why Satan's using her. But in her performance, she has this thing where the girls line up and then they put their arms out and they're doing this whole little thing. It's very much like Kali. To me, it's all about Kali. She's twisting her body into all of these weird contortions. Really weird. I think it's straight up demonic stuff that they're showing us, as always. And then we got the Charlie XC, whatever her name is. She another one of these demons. And this is straight up Dionysian cult. And this is an image from Lady Gaga's Abracadabra. So you can see the overlapping of this. And this is the image from Chappelle, her performance with the clowns and all this. It's overlapping imagery. And what you see here are nothing but Rainbow Brigade. And look, like I've said in the past, this is the world. People are going to have different ways of living. People are going to have different orientations. I don't have any problem with that because I understand it's the world. But I do have a problem when it becomes this type of programming, right? Little kids are watching this stuff. Little children are looking up to these artists, unfortunately. And you have Taylor Swifts and all of these types that are the bridge to these artists, leading them to these artists. And young girls should not be seeing this type of stuff. I'm sorry. This is very unhealthy. It's very confusing. And we'll get more into depth on this tomorrow. But it's very, very confusing. And that's all you saw with this show. These are nothing but Rainbow Brigade people. It's mostly women, by the way. And we got a white knight up here, looking like a blues brother. I don't know what that's about. But this is sick stuff, man. Looks like they're throwing up their underwear and stuff here. What in the hell is going on? And they always do this, I know. But I'm going to always be upset about it. Okay, I'm never going to be okay with this stuff. I don't care how many times I see, I'm going to be the same upset every damn time. Right? Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then I got this here, flesh-based sexual programming. So everything is sexual. Desensitization. There we go, Mo Griff. There we go. Desensitization and demoralization. Big part of progressive culture. Big part of postmodernism. When we look at the postmodernist thinkers, Allen Ginsberg and all of these guys, they was down with NAMBLA, okay? So they don't care about children innocence. In fact, they want to corrupt children early. Back to Crowley. It's always been the case. Yeah, dehumanization as well. Yep. So what we see is all sex. This girl, dancing in her underwear. We don't need to see this. No one needs to see any of this. And they're schoolgirls. They're dressed up as schoolgirls too. Very androgynous, by the way. Same with Billie Eilish playing the opposite role. Playing the masculinity role. And listen, I don't have any, listen, I got friends and family that are tomboys. Ain't nothing wrong with that. It's a thing. It's an aesthetic. It's a style. And sometimes it's just the way people feel comfortable. I don't have any problem with that. Now, dudes walk around wearing dresses, that's different. But listen, I ain't got nothing wrong with little T-Boss. Okay, little left eye. I don't have any problem with that. But I know why. I know how they're using this. I know how they're using this. And then we got SZA over here just falling all out of her clothes, looking sloppy as hell. She's just so nasty looking. It's disgusting. And she's such a talented young girl. So sad what happened to her. She's done this to herself. It's disgusting. And then we got this woman here, just same kind of thing, you know, looking like they strippers. It's disgusting. I'll be making my moral arguments tomorrow. I'm just venting for the first show. Just getting it all out. Sick and tired of these heathens corrupting our children and our culture. Now, check it out. Season of the Witch. Oh, by the way, I didn't read this part. Yeah, what this reminds me of are freak shows, right? P.T. Barnum circus type freak shows. Burlesque. You know, the predecessor of strip clubs. The vaudeville, which kind of encompasses all of these things. Minstrelsy, because we understand vaudeville comes from minstrelsy and burlesque and freak shows. Minstrelsy, and I think this is minstrelsy, all right? This is minstrelsy. I don't care how talented the young girl is. She ain't nothing but a minstrel in blackface. All of these so-called black entertainers are, let me stop. All right, carnies, there we go. Now, the traditional American form of classic pre-Hollywood. We've been touching on Hollywood. We went into old Hollywood. Let's go pre-Hollywood. What do we have? Same spirit. Same sexualized, weird, strange, crossing or transcending boundaries. Yes, vaudeville, minstrelsy, burlesque, all of the early forms of comedy and entertainment had these elements. We go on pre-Hollywood. American form of classic pre-Hollywood entertainment. It's all the same, guys, and they're signaling this to us, in my view. They're signaling this to us with these characters. It's something inherently American about all of this stuff. Yeah, Jezebels, you better believe it. And they got the Ahab spirit too behind pulling the strings. We got the Ahab part of this too. Us men are not. we ain't escaping this. We pulling the strings. We running the industries. It's it's a two-party game. Now let me quickly here. I want to play a clip from a video I did in 2020 where I covered this idea, and it's only a few seconds here, but I want to show it because it defines exactly what I'm getting at. Let me play this here for y'all. And I was discussing the trend of TikTok when it was first kind of blowing up in early 2020. This was before the scamdemic, by the way. This was February 2020.
Immature young adults, mostly consisting of envious girls and post-pubescent loin-locked males. This would suggest the cause for her viewing audience's interest rests in two base-level modes of attention: envy and lust. Not only is this genre of media content popular because it has the ability to snag the attention of this loopy generation with glib 15-second jingles, but its premise is based on a libidinal, animal-brained, or mammalian instinctual drive, namely sex and security, which is where lust and envy originate. The workings of the flesh, of which these social media platforms source directly. To add, we notice no real talent performed or anything of originality to consider worthy of such fame and labored attention. Essentially, what we discover through the lowbrow and histrionic content of TikTok is that it gains its traction by utilizing the guise of entertainment, song, and dance to deliver toxic and mind-altering cultural mores, hypersexual subliminal signaling, and postmodern teenage angst.
Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
Seductive serpentine collections of teenage mind control pose a great threat to the healthy development of younger generations that experience her as a cultural model. If one chooses to be more analytical, we can gather that this TikTok phenom is simply reappropriating a set of very old art forms, namely mimesis, or the pantomime and burlesque performance. When one researches the historical foundations of, say, burlesque, it is easy to see the parallels. The elements of absurdity and sensual pastiche applied to music is spot on. A structure organized to seduce men and induce libidinal stimulation with a provocative effect as entertainment. An accurate label for this form of TikTok content could rightly be described as adolescent burlesque. Softcore yet hyper accessible and potent in its conditioning. No bar or nightclub, taxi ride, or traffic signals required to catch the show. The party is ongoing and in every child's hand or book bag. Included, we must be reminded that TikTok has also been considered an online pipeline for child predators to find entertainment and contact for potential meeting arrangements.
Okay, I just wanted to show that quick clip there to just as historical reference for this idea I've been having for some time now, comparing a lot of this stuff we're seeing online, a lot of the culture, a lot of the TikTok dances and stuff, to burlesque, to the pantomime, where we're just copying and pretending, and this mimicry, if you will, but as well as this soft sexual nature that's constantly present, right? Constantly appealing to the flesh, constantly appealing to the norms. Let me see here. Where is this at? Constantly appealing to the flesh and constantly appealing to the loins is very powerful. And now that they have the screens and the algorithms and the devices in everyone's hand every day, I mean, imagine how powerful that is. Imagine how powerful that is now. So here, man, I couldn't help but see this dichotomy, right? So I'm thinking Season of the Witch, but also let's go back to Wizard of Oz. Because when I look at this roan chick and even some of the colors and dresses that certain people there were wearing, it was like the white witch, the good witch, white magic, witch of light. Then in the middle, we had the transitional lady in red. But then you have this black theme, right? And I also had to add in her because I think this, Melania or whatever, I think it all ties in, the politics too. We're seeing a dark angle, manifest destiny, witchy kind of stuff over there too. And, they had this black themes, witch-like theme. And of course, this witch right here, literal witch. Okay, this woman here, Oleva, Cynthia Oliva or whatever. Scary, creepy woman. She actually played a really good role. But she was like she could see the future or something in this movie, this series called The Outsider. That's where I first saw her. And she looked a lot different. She looked normal. She didn't look like she was sick. Like now she kind of looks sick, like she's not eating or something. She had some nice meat on her and full figured and everything. She looked very healthy in The Outsider. And I think that was in 2018. But she's just looks scary now. Like she's straight up some kind of witch, I don't even know. But yeah, you got Alicia Keys. It's just this whole dark theme. So I'm looking at, the evil, wicked witch. And we got the good witch, the good and the bad. And we were seeing this throughout the whole Grammys. Really interesting. Now, of course, It's Wizard of Oz and the man behind the curtain. So it's not just the witches in Wizard of Oz. It's the whole theme of there's a man behind the curtain. There's a man behind the curtain controlling all of this. And that's the biggest point I'm trying to make, is we are, in a sense, in this kind of Wizard of Oz movie where we're being shown a story that is dictated, at least on the surface, by witches, but behind the scene there is a man behind the curtain, like the main witch, right? And this is Aleister Crowley here. Can you believe how similar these images are? It's really, really uncanny. And this image of her here, this outfit she had on, right when I saw her, guys, I'm telling you, I was like, she looked like the witch from Wizard of Oz. That's the first thing I said to myself. She looked like the witch from Wizard of Oz, that little get up she had on. It's creepy, man. And so Dorothy are all the little girls, in my view. Dorothy are all the innocent little girls in the world being deceived by a so-called good witch of magic. You know, under the spell or the constant pressure of the bad witch, what have you. Yeah, intentional, Bari. I really think it's intentional. Yeah, Wicked. That's where I was going to go next. And it looks like I didn't pull the image, but I got it right here. Let me grab it. Yeah, she was also in, yes, this big blockbuster hit production Wicked. Where's she at? Here, right here. Yeah, Wicked. Boom. Let me bring it to the front. Yeah, there we go. Wicked. There she is. Playing a literal witch. You think that's a coinky dink? I don't. And we know she a witch. She over here just transforming over time. This poor girl, poor Disney girl. I don't know what's happened to that girl, but she, whew, man. Poor thing. She's just melting away. Acting, she's such a strange person. But yeah, it's like nonstop with this stuff. So this woman here played the witch in Wicked. Yeah, God detests witchcraft. Yeah, defiled, perfect term. Bewitched, another great term. Yes, agitation propaganda in a spiritual sense. There we go, Dan's Love Music. Perfect. Excellent. I agree 150%. I agree. There we go. Yes. They're agitating the spirit. Really, really interesting. Okay, now, let's see. Now, what I've always said, and let's go all the way back. Aside from the spiritual stuff, right? Or should we say, aside from this type of spiritual possession that's pretty obvious, there's a cultural aspect here that I've always been saying in the beginning of this whole idea of weird, right? And in 2016, I did a video called They Want Us to Be Weird. And I believe this is the same stuff. They want our young girls to be this way. Now, I do understand some people are naturally this way, or at least they've developed into these types of people. We're all different. This is the world. There's going to be room for all different types of people. But this is not what we should be presenting as normal culture. This type of culture should be looked at for what it is. Strange and weird. And it needs to be where it should be. And that is private or off to the side, away from young children's vision. This type of stuff should not be put in front of young kids and young developing minds. It's very confusing and it's unhealthy for any society. So I did a video called They Want Us to Be Weird, and it fits perfect. So let's go back. Let's go back to 2016 and watch this here. 3 minutes long. Check it out. Original classic Days of Noah right here. We're going all the way back to 2016. Let's go.
jaded and miserable, yet ecstatic at once, with two faces and double minds, doubling down on the double cup and stumbling through double doors, belligerent, selfish, self-centered, and seeking attention from the surface. Self-gratification, habitual self-worship, though we still feel worthless. Pressure to outdo, one-up, and show out, or show off. They want us to be weird, twisted, and confused, until parents can no longer recognize their offspring. Strange fruit that fell far from the tree, far from the branches that gave it life, absorbed by the earth that bringeth death. The world of lies and convenience, safe spaces and narcotics, dead faces and electronics, mere flesh bait. Society waits, tempting until you pay up. It passes around the offering plate, and your body is the offering. Your mind is held as ransom, yet your spirit is collateral damage. But you thought you was a savage, strangers in a strange land. They want us to be weird, perverted, depraved, immature children at play in their box of quicksand. They sell us idols, rebellion. They give us broken mentors, and on stage they burn the scriptures. On screen they shape identities because they want us to be weird. Alter egos, flesh addictions, and shoulders with chips on them. So they make crazy look cool. They make murder an accomplishment, a badge of honor. And they spin mental illness into fashion. So you wear your heart on your sleeve, or anyone can take it. Anything can sway you to and fro. Morality is boring, science is God, and normal is being sociopathic. You become a brand, less than sheep. At least their skin has value. You become food, a dinner date entree, and a conversation piece for the elite. Because they want us weird, weak, and spiritually incomplete. Living on the edge, getting high to get by. Yeah, as they dangle us from the balcony by our feet.
Yeah. Throwback Tuesdays, yeah. It's crazy when I think about this era and how I was feeling and thinking then, and seeing what was coming through these artists, through a lot of this, mayhem, right? And here we are. And it was very clear with the Grammys that we are stepping into this new version, this new stage of all of this stuff. These new artists that came out of nowhere, new plants, and the old industry trying to keep up the Kanye Wests, the Drakes, and the Beyoncés getting that final award, saying in a way farewell as she lets these new artists come in and take over. But of course, not without this Americana appeal, if you will, as we step into this new golden age under Trump. And again, it ain't about left or right. They're all involved here. We're all being walked down this path. So I appreciate you guys. We got a lot to dig into tomorrow. I'm going to go through all of my arguments and points regarding what we've been touching on today. I just wanted to cover the actual Grammys and present some things that stood out to me, especially this continuation of witchcraft, but being targeted towards young people and young girls, to be specific, man, because if you're noticing, this is all, of course, it's the industry, so it's hyper progressive, and there's going to be this hardcore feminist angle. But again, this is targeting young girls, man. This is aimed directly at the minds and spirits of young women. And if you notice, the whole thing was an ode to the Scarlet Woman, to Jezebel, right? To all of these feminist spirits. And it's sad and unfortunate, but we're not going to stand for it. We're going to point it out, and we're going to expose it as we should. So I really appreciate you all. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace and blessings.
Please do not forget to tip your server. Check out the merch shop for fire gear, links in the description. We appreciate your continued support. All praises to the Most High. We appreciate your continued support.